Hi, welcome to the show. Ho, 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 Merry Fatso. That's me. That's me, all right. Huh. Well, what I'm doing is, and I'm not certain how long it'll go, or if it'll take off, or if it'll work. But what I'm doing is I'm recording myself in the process of painting. I want to get an idea of just how long it takes to do one of these mammoth paintings. So I thought what I would do is just do a free record of myself every time that I'm painting the painting. And that way I'll also feel obligated to talk while I'm painting, which should cause an interesting effect in the painting. Um, anyway, that's where I'm going from there. By the way, I'm fat. uh, it's really weird. It's not so much fat as much as it is like a short shirt. No, that's fat. Yeah, it's like I'm pregnant. It's so weird being self-conscious in front of the camera. But what I was going to say was that the bottom of my back arches in severely, so it's not so much that I'm fat is that I'm slightly rotund and I just have these interesting bends in my spine. That's right. That's right. Huh. Wonder how the sound's going here. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. What I plan to do is I have a Tiny Chat account set up, and because you guys won't know it until after you watch this, to log into Tiny Chat, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my other computer to run Tiny Chat whenever I'm painting also, and with the hopes that people will hop on. Maybe if anyone suggests in the comments, that I make a quick, brief interlude segment video, kind of like Amendum does when he's dating that he's going to be in debate. Um, that I do that, and then people can chime in and interact with me while I'm doing the painting. Anyway, I figured this is going to be kind of like uh, mega long uploads, so this is for the marathon mind, the people that like to move through and listen to dialogue from internet strangers such as myself. And I say that because literally how many of you have I met in person? Since 2007, how many people have I met in person from that I first met on the internet outside of dating sites, fatso dating sites? Um, that's a damn good question. I would say one, Bubonic Nate. I met Bubonic Nate. Oh, no, I never met Steve Ernst. Met Bubonic Nate. Interesting. Okay, well, I don't want this to be like Bitter Poet Man. Actually, I have specific philosophical things um, that I want to contribute to a dialogue and kind of go over. It's just that I need the inspiration to actually get it done. And I need to not lose my staple gun. Um, so, where to start? Where to start? Start from the start. Start from the start, old boy. Yeah, the long string of words that is my channel that's been going on for some time has developed and evolved in hopefully kind of a non-Obama sense of the word evolve. And my perceptions on things, my arguments on things, where I come from, how it is I'm put together is obviously transformed by the people that I interact with, but mostly transformed by the unexplained phenomenon that I've witnessed so many times that makes me realize that absolutely everything that we do, whether it's online or offline, whether or not it's picking our nose or talking behind someone's back or thinking behind someone's back, from an alien's point of view, and I'll use alien and God or powers that be kind of interchangeably. From an alien point of view, everything is transparent. All is transparent. And one might say that this is an echo of one's own mind, that you give yourself, you wish your super ego something, and the super ego comes back in some particular fashion to grant. I forgot to wet this. Great. Well, this is what I meant by talking while I'm painting and the effect of it. Let me throw out my boogers in my booger bucket. Oh yeah. So, whoa. Come on, little kitty. Come. Meow. Meow. Is it time? No, it's 20 more minutes. So my new belief is that absolutely everything that is done is transparent, that your soul is transparent, that it's seen by an entity which could be, if the internet is God, in a way, kind of like an alien technology that humans got a hold of that is digesting absolutely all of its inputs. And it's, that we are like in a matrix, we are in an AI of the future, and the future is looking back upon us, that our future self is in communication, in communicato with us, kind of like gods or aliens, to be in communication with ourselves, differently than just the superego, but more in a much more literal sense. And that's something that I speculate upon. It's not something that it's something that I've speculated upon based on very odd experiences that I've gone through in the past, that my most recent painting kind of goes over, which I've gone over several times on in dialogue, just in videos and so forth. So I'm not intending to be a big broken record. It just happens to be that I'm a big broken record. Oh, by the way, I got a kitty. I got a kitty from the shelter who's like, looks like it's got a tabby ancestor in it, but it's gray and white. I'll show it to you when she shows up. And her name's Lily Puppy. I named her Lily Puppy. And she's just this beautiful little creature. But she's also this soulful, spiritual energy that's around me. By the way, if you've known me for years, I've gone from secular rationalism to spiritual speculation, and I'm trying to guide people through a deference of language to lose their ideologies and their set platforms of interpersonal notions of truth and rationality, and leave those behind for a step into the deconstructive. And I don't do that lightly. It's for people that are rational, but they're tired of the mundaneness of their lives. They haven't deconstructed their own being and really stepped out on a limb and gone through a series of contradictions and negations of their own person for the sake of finding a new lattice of understanding, which yields, at least in my case, a much more spiritual ground. And perhaps you were raised in a hyper-religious family, and so you're already fed up with the mysticism, but it doesn't mean that you invited yourself to dive heavily into the mystical realm as a personal code of conduct. So somehow I feel like it's my duty as a leader and as a teacher of some form or another, a codic disclosure to show lingual deferment in order that one breaks the law of identity as it relates to themselves. Not just breaking the law of identity in terms of rationalism, in terms of rationality itself, but break the law of identity when it comes to however it is they conceive themselves. But like I said, I don't do that lightly, because it is a form of destruction when, in fact, after a deconstructive process, you get so caught up, at least I got so caught up in the process of deconstruction. See, I believe you need to go through a deconstruction in order to find your spiritual self, and in order to find the spirit world. And then you will be convinced your theos will be full and robust. And when your theos is full and robust, then you can start to reorganize your thinking. And after having gone through a deconstructive and then reorganizing kind of a moral reconstructive process of one's own identity, after one goes through that, then you can really point, hopefully get yourself oriented in a manner that is beneficial to your soul, to your essence, to your very being, so that you are looking back upon your life in a very positive way. Now, if you're already in a relationship, like you have a romantic relationship and you're in love, and you know the other person is in love with you and things are going well and it's progressive, then this video is not for you. This whole series of this topic, I should say, is not anything that I would want you to invest in, because I ultimately believe that the goal of the individual is to organize themselves and their lives in a beautiful fashion with as many people that make them feel beautiful not in a physical sense, but in a soulful sense. Hey, kitty, you want to say hi to everybody, kitty? Okay, Lily, come here, little puppy. Come here. Meow 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 meow. This is Lily Puppy. Say hi, Lily Puppy. Yeah. See, I think she's part tabby because she's got, see that tail with the layers in it and some of her gray fur there. But she's a gray little kitty. Yes. Yes, indeedy. She's a gray little kitty. So happy. She's been a good little pal since I got you. You've been really content, even though I feel like I need to get her another cat just to play with. My environment was so static. I mean, even though I got a plant, 2 plants, one of them I'm trying to get, make it come back to life. Everything in my environment was so completely static in a physical sense that it was really allowing my mind to stir. And that was a bit of a problem, having my mind stir so much, because I get caught in what I call a spiritual modality of thinking, where every little thing, in kind of even a psychotic sense, like a plane going overhead, exacts my soul's position. And this is kind of a psychosis that a properly deconstructed mind might go through. If you've ever heard yeah, let me make a reference to somebody and then forget at the last minute. I keep wanting to say Camus, but it's not Camus who I'm thinking of. It's the psychiatrist that came up with mythological symbolism. You guys, come on, guys, you know who I'm talking about. Come on, brain, work it out. Anyway, I'll get back to that. But this psychiatrist that's really, really famous came up with this. He has something called the Red Book, which is that he himself had a psychological meltdown, a spiritualism, a deconstructive spiritualism occur, and he kept it private from his colleagues during the majority of his life. And then he wrote a book called the Red Book. I believe he even illustrated it. And it shows his radical self-development as a spiritual entity. Because all said and done, everything is a matter of self-reflection. It's a matter of essence of one's being. It's a matter, but prior to being essence of one being, it's one's mental interaction with the material universe, kind of a vivisection between physicalism and that which is epistemological, a sense of one's soul's relationship, one's words relationship, one's being's relationship with the environment, as the environment, in a kind of a gooey interactive state, interacts back with the individual. For all the fun that I had making fun of Anton, talking about the universe haunting itself as another, Yeah, I'm not talking about something too different from that. The universe comes back to haunt you like a candy cane that winds around and goes up and then twists around the top and points itself right back down. Like a candy cane that does that. Such is the soul on its journey. At some point there is a curvature to it, provided that one allows themselves that possibility. I wouldn't say any of this if I didn't experience it. And I didn't say if I didn't think it. I said if I didn't experience it. Because I'm a spiritual literalist now. All things spiritual seem to have a literal entanglement with them. Ah! Muddying up my canvas initially. It probably needs it. Ah! I don't really want to muddy it. Not this early in the game. So for modern eons, at least the way my culture brought me up, the way I assume so many other cultures bring them up, they'll come to believe the internet is a separate entity from themselves, kind of like we thought of the TV as a separate entity of ourselves, when in fact my spiritual development shows that not only does the TV talk back to you, oh crap, but the internet talks back to you, and I don't mean in the literal sense. In this case, I mean in the metaphoric sense, like a metaphoric language, like a metadata. Yep, we'll just toss that over there with the rest of the stuff, the rest of the fixings. Get on here to more plugging away. So I went to this nightclub. I dragged my fat ass to this nightclub last night, and I had a nice sports jacket on to cover up my fat belly. Of course, I brought my club leg out with me, and I actually tried to do a little bit of dancing. And I hurt really badly today. Sorry you guys got to see my plumber's crack or whatever other unattractive body part I'm sticking in your face. It's just the way it goes. As it goes, it's going. Oh. Yeah, it'll be nice when I actually have people to interact with on Tiny Chat, because oh, shit. So that's how glass bends. Damn. Okay, I gotta clean that up. Kitty, kitty. Yo, kid, get out the way. Get out the way, kid. Get out the way. That's right. Hold tight. Little kitty. Oh, you get back. Yo, kid, get out the way. Get out the way, kitty. Get out the way. And it was my own name that I stepped on. Can you believe? Can you believe that I actually did that? My God. My God, I stepped on myself. What do I mean by I stepped on myself? Thanks for asking, because I know you're all inquisitive. It's a frame that had my name on it, my website. Okay. Skip doobly doo doo wop. Boobly doo doo wop. So, yeah, I wonder if I'm even supposed to be spending my time painting. Something tells me I'm not. Something tells me I'm not even supposed to be dealing with canvas anymore, that I should move completely into digital animation, into biology, just something altogether different than old school, old style, brush to canvas painting. But I just posted the last painting that I did, the most recent painting, and I was so happy just to get the feedback from people, just to get the likes on Facebook was quite a bit. I'll try to remember to put a link below to my Facebook site. Excuse me, it's bathroom break. Let me see if I can whistle a tune for you. You guess what it is. Sorry about the delay, folks. Yes, I know. I'm a bundle of entertainment. Kitty, kitty! Kitty, kitty! Come get your little kitty. From under, my belly looks bigger than up above. From under, my chin looks fatter than up above. Bubble, blubber, blubber, blubber in the camera, blubber in the camera. You guys face it, take it. It's the way it is. If I could pull out my stomach like a ham, I'd bake it. There ain't no faking. Okay, 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 what's next? What's next? 29 minutes of complete rambling bliss. Oh, it's Debussy, by the way. Debussy. Debussy for daydreaming. I don't remember the name of the specific Pacific sign. So, okay, time for some scissors to cut some of the threads off the end. So, there was recently a video online, a video online, let me be even more exact. If I can't remember anyone's name, I'll just be completely vague, as I should be, I suppose. Anyway, it was about the Buddhism being nihilistic. There was another video from Fede saying that originality is like it's dead. Like that there's nothing original. And then Conference Report got on that and kind of made it seem like if you don't have a complete paradigm shift that affects all of humanity, civilized humanity, in some particular way, then you're definitely not being original. And you know, originality is, in my world, you know, it's a combination of different approaches to things. Like originality and creativity go hand in hand. But I mean, there's a billion landscapes, like landscape painting. There's a billion landscape paintings out there. Hell, there's a billion sketchbooks out there with different amazing things in it. And I mean, what can one say other than each one of those is a piece of originality? Each one of those traces the pencil down differently than anybody else. Each one is an echo of a particular person in space-time. Okay. Boy, what does this look like on the camera? That looks like a big damn stain. I think what I'm going to do for my pleasure and yours is put this back brace on. Because why might you ask? Well, because it'll make me look less fat. Or it'll make me look more fat. Or it'll just make me look more handicapped. Oh, it's my girdle. It's my art girdle. By the way, Angela, so I won't hide your name anymore. Angela, why don't you give me an email so we can talk again. There we go. Boy, that helps the spine quite a bit. You know, when you're pregnant, like I am, that really helps the spine. See, you see my arched back? See my justification? Never mind. Look at me be vain. Look at me care about such things. Okay. I kind of wanted this to dry a little bit, but I'm live on cam. But I have to do this correctly. It's just time to gesso, what can I say? I gotta staple a little bit more. A little bit more. That's fraying up there. It's coming off. Corner's coming off. Ugh. Anyway, like I was saying, my body is still damaged, self-damaged. That was a part of negation. That was a part of deconstructing oneself, was breaking part of your body, your actual physical body. I don't recommend doing that because if you harm yourself, you're harming the world. If you harm somebody else, you're harming yourself. I mean, that's the ethic of vegetarianism. And I can't even bring myself to eat eggs anymore because eggs are symbolic of women's wombs, and they're symbolic of chicks, the young, and it's like an ovum in a shell, and I just, it's like they're just symbolically torturous. But anyway, deconstructionists like William S. Burroughs, he cut off his own pinky. He blew his wife's head open with a bullet and got off legally by saying he was playing Paul Revere with her in a moving car. And she had an apple on her head, and he shot and missed and shot her in the head and killed her. Now that's deconstruction. That guy ruined himself. And the thing about negation is I believe one should negate themselves in order to annihilate their idealism, in order to prostrate themselves on the ground for God, prostrate through their own rationalism. Kick that away, kick away any notion of the ego holding itself together in order to find, and I'll call it a non-agonic load, to break through that. And this isn't a matter of just suffering lightly on kind of a welfare, casting oneself through time. This is a direct negation of self-identity, one's physicality, one's ideologies, and so forth. And I believe one should do that in order to find their theos, find their spiritualism, to connect with the universe in a very matter-of-fact, literal way, and be open to symbolism, be open to sounds, be open to the guidance of one's universe, to find themselves in a solipsistic state and believe it in one almost a psychotic meltdown. The benefit of that is finding one's self-relationship with God, but make certain that you don't remain there and that your trajectory is not negated, that once you hit rock bottom, you're organizing yourself to move back upward again as a spiritual being. I think that's what's most important. Now, that being said, the idea of creation is so tremendous. It's so important that one's creation becomes or is ultimately a beautiful thing. And so, how to do that? How to make certain that what you create in your life, with your words, with your time, with your hands, is enlightening, it is ideal, it's organized. It's not just a visceral expression of pulling one's guts out. It is an organized, symbolic, well-orchestrated commitment to the betterment of insight towards humanity. Like that, to me, should be the goal of moving oneself back up again. Not just relying on a downward stroke, but realizing that the down is negative. System of the down is nowhere where you want to be. If you're lost in the down, it's your job to reorganize who you mingle with, how they speak, how you interact with symbols. I mean, I was at this club, right, and they had beer like Blue Moon. So Blue Moon's sad. Cutthroat's sad. They like the most decent alcohol they had on tap was pale ale, and I only say that because my last name is Fahl, which means pal in German, which is pale, as in the color being pale, but that's not necessarily the English translation of the name, which stems from the War of the Roses. But anyway, what I'm getting at is the way your life is woven through time, over time, through symbolism. As you move through time, your very being starts interacting with the universe. You start seeing the universe in a very particular fashion, what you tend to, who you subscribe to, how it is you put your life together is so ultimately important. Even your association with me is maybe not the best thing for you. I mean, Amendum had mentioned that maybe his presence around me was a negative presence. And for the most part, I think it is, because his thema is do not God, and my presence is overting God. And so we're definitely at odds there, because I believe not only that there's aliens that are present and active as angels or spiritual beings, but that we're completely transparent, that there is God. I don't know if it's theistic. My experience is that it's both monotheistic and it's plural. And I don't know which is above the rest, and that it's expressed through sports, it's expressed through the dynamism of all the variables of all experiences, including the infinite nature of the internet, the growing infinite nature. I mean, it's finite, but it's growing into this impossibility to count, the Googleplex, if you will. So I've also listened to Thou Art That and Alexander Bard and Anton, and I'm a little bit at odds with them, because even though their descriptive capabilities of what's going on are seemingly nice, and I approach each personality as if it's me speaking to me, as if it's direct and compassionate communication back to me, and it's a self-reflection of the universe coming back to me through each personality. But some of the end valuations that they make, I guess I gotta get painting. Get painting! Get painting! Stop wasting time and get painting. I guess I might have to listen to some of the Bard video again in order to exact. Here's the horn. Let's see. It's my brother from my own mother. Brother from my own mother. Hubbard. Sitting in a cupboard. You're recording online as you speak. What's up?
You're what?
I said we're recording online. I got a camera going as you speak. Are you in town?
Yeah.
Oh, my text?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a picture of the cat. Mom called me and said that your child might like the photo. Yeah, Dad sent me a group of them, and I only got one of them out of the group on my phone, which really sucked. God, I gotta rinse this brush out. Anyway, so you're back. I don't know if you need help with the piano. Got my back brace on. I'm ready to help. So what do you got going on? Say again? What are you saying? You got your ass kicked at cards? Oh. Oh. Did you play like 7 cards? Well, you didn't go all the way to Vegas, did you? Huh, okay. Why'd you sleep in your car if it was all booked? What'd you do?
Well, if George and he will book it, we'll get the last.
Huh. Okay.
It was more money and primitive accommodation. I haven't seen that whole lot.
What, a 1950s TV? Is that what you're saying? Huh. Right on. Yeah, well. Oh, well. Oh, wow. You got this. Yeah. Say that again? Oh, okay. Oh, I wouldn't mind one of them. I wouldn't mind one of them. Yeah, that's too bad that it's so close, but Mom said that your daughter, as I refer to her because the camera's rolling, is said something about unplugging, and Mom said, oh, she's probably referring to life support system or some medical device.
She's not on life support. They're going to start her on walking off next week.
Oh, well. Right, right. Right, right. Well, how's Molly feel about all of it? Okay. Well, it's got to be awkward for you too, just being around her. I mean, well, yeah, just treat them like angels on their way out, I guess. I mean, hell, with Carl, one of the last things I did was show him my online portfolio, and I totally regret doing that. So it's like, why would I give him so much negativity to look at on his deathbed? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I never. Yeah, I'm. Huh. Oh. Yeah. I wish I remember more of my conversation that I had with Carl before he died. I just remember we were really in it together, and it was definitely a spiritual interaction that was bewildering Sandra and Mom and Dad. It's just like everything else I've gone through. I don't know. As long as, I wondered whether or not the Calder kids were upset at me. I wondered whether or not Stacy was upset at me, or whether or not they're just weirded that I got a chance to be with their dad when he was going out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah. No, I just. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I guess just whatever you can connect with in your dying moment. Well, the lady next to me at the farmer's market that sets up and has the photographs. When she saw you coming one day, she's like, he is so locked in his persona. He seems like someone that's unwilling to unlock himself from his own persona. And I thought about that. That just means kind of like the exact same thing you were just saying. That you wish you were that way more of the time, but you're too caught up in some other way of being most of the time that you can't allow yourself to, I don't know, to kick into that more sensitive mode, I guess. Hang on, I gotta turn this off. Bye, folks. Thanks for watching, and I'm glad you like my new mohawk.